What's up top 10 fam, hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host Ayman Hasan, welcome back to another video. I'm back on my bullshit. Now, I've honestly said time and time again that robots will take over if we keep trying to give them consciousness and whatnot, and I still very much stand by that. But regardless of whether they're AI or regular robots, they tend to be problematic at times, to say the least. Danny hit you guys with part 1 and part 2 of the series. I will be taking over part 3, be nice to me please. I went through the series already to make sure there are no repeats in part 3 cause ain't nobody got time for that. Cause when Ayman's hosting his only quality content folks, and I'm never doing that again. Let's just get into it you guys, let's just ignore that I even did that. These are the top 10 scary robots that lost control part 3. Starting us off with number 10 is the conspiracy. So back in 2017, 4 AI robots apparently killed 29 scientists in a Japanese lab. Journalist and conspiracy theorist Linda Moulton gave a speech about the event, saying the information she got was from a former Marine that had been working for the CIA. The 4 robots were developed for military purposes and they basically shot metal bullets at everyone. Lab workers managed to deactivate 2 of them and took apart the 3rd, yet the 4th one started restoring and putting itself back together. It somehow connected to an orbiting satellite, downloaded information on how to rebuild itself, and not just rebuild itself, but rebuild itself stronger than before. Like, this mofo is upgrading over here. Linda went on to say we won't hear about it because the government wants AI robot soldiers, so they won't be publicizing it anytime soon, and the robotics company has too much to lose, so they won't either. But then again, some sources say it was in South Korea, not Japan. Others ask whether we can really rely and trust Linda or not, so hence it's been labeled a bit of a conspiracy theory because its authenticity will never really be confirmed. But what do you guys think? True or false? Coming in at number 9 are robot surgeons, and I thought they were really precise because I've seen those videos on Twitter of a robot surgeon giving stitches to a grape. Like, the thinnest layer you can possibly imagine of the grape just gets peeled back, and I was like, damn B. But honestly, reality just isn't as good as Twitter promised me. I was sad about it. Between 2000 and 2013, 144 people died during robot-assisted surgeries, 1,391 were injured, and there were 8,000 plus incidents of robot malfunctions. I'm sorry? I thought robots literally eliminated the risk of human error, hence they're robots. Like, why are they acting up though? I don't understand. 2 deaths and 52 injuries occurred because mechanical surgeons just up and decide to spontaneously power down mid-operation for and giggles, or they just made an incorrect movement. Gotta love it. Really. 193 people were injured due to electrical sparks burning them, and even more, 119 people died because bits of the robot fell into the patient during surgery. Another 20 people died because the video system on the robot console just went berserk mid-surgery, and the human surgeon was like, F my life, to be honest. You were meant to make this easy, not bring me down, you imbecile. So these ones weren't technically scary robots, but they did lose control, and honestly, they have so many people's lives in their hands, and that's pretty damn scary to me. At number 8, we have Robert Williams, and that was the name of the first person ever to be killed by a robot, and honestly, that is not a nice title to hold. It was 1979, and Robert was 25 years old, working as a Ford motor assembly line worker in Flat Rock, Michigan. Williams died instantly when a robot's arm slammed into him as he was gathering parts in a storage facility where the robot was also gathering parts. The robot hit him in the head and then went on with his work till another worker found Robert's body half an hour later. His family did end up getting $10 million in damages, which is wow. I don't want to be smacked in the head for $10 million as well. Please and thank you. The jury agreed that the lack of safety measures was the real fault here, like at least include an alarm or something if the robot gets near someone, or like have a 2-meter safety distance installed somewhere in their wiring. I don't know. Clearly I'm a tech guru. Tech guru, Ayman the tech guru. Filling our number 7 slot is Mika Johnson. So back in July of 2016, during a peaceful protest against the shooting of black people in Dallas, Mika killed 5 police officers, wounded 9 more, as well as 2 civilians. He then took off and took refuge at El Centro College, where again he killed another officer outside the building. After a 5-hour standoff, police gave him 2 options: either surrender and come outside, or stay inside and be exposed to force. And as you can imagine, Mika did not surrender. So the police then basically attached a brick of C4 explosive to the arm of a robot and sent it into the alcove Mika was hiding in. It then exploded, killing Mika instantly and damaging the robot partially, and it was the first bombing executed by any police department in the US ever. So it's not really a robot that lost control, more like a robot that was sent to kill. And funnily enough, the robot was actually built to defuse bombs, not detonate them. But you know, life changes course. Sometimes you're built to defuse bombs, and other times you just have to go in and do it. Now at number 6 is the feud. This one made me laugh quite a bit for some reason. I just found it funny. But anyway, many people don't actually know this, but Wikipedia has like a small army of automated software bots that go over the site's millions of pages, and basically they just correct any errors, update the links, remove digital vandalism, etc. Just goody two-shoes robots, really. I love it. Various generations of these bots have been created over the years, and they actually don't always get along. A study done by a group of researchers from Oxford looked at the behavior of wiki edit bots for 9 years on 13 language editions of the site. They found that a lot of the bots get into online feuds that last years. For example, 2 bots will get conflicting instructions for a task, and so they'll circle back and correct one another again and again and again. It's basically like an infinite loop of digital passive aggressiveness and wanting to be right, which sounds like every keyboard warrior on Twitter. Robots and humans, we're not that different. You heard it here first. Coming in at number 5 is Tay. So back in 2016, Microsoft created an experimental AI persona called Tay, and she was meant to be a Twitter chatbot. Aimed at 18 to 24-year-olds, she was programmed through machine learning and adaptive algorithms to mimic how a millennial female speaks. Tay could tweet through processing inputted phrases and blending all the other data she had found. I guess Tay ended up hitting up the wrong crowd on Twitter because her tweets changed radically, and she started saying abusive things and even spewing Nazi sentiments. 0 to 100 real quick. She tweeted things like 9/11 was an inside job and Hitler was right, I hate the Jews. So Tay ended up being an epic fail and was taken offline after 16 hours. Had to be a rough one, Microsoft. Unlucky. At number 4 are Vladimir and Estragon. What great names, honestly. A for effort and creativity. Not really, since they got that from the play Waiting for Godot, but whatever. Theatre major over here, don't even try me, you guys. Don't even try me. Samuel Beckett. Don't try me. Come for me. Either way, in January of 2017, Twitch thought it would be fun to watch some robots debate some shit. So they put 2 Google Home smart speakers next to each other in front of a webcam and just left them to it. The devices use speech recognition to understand spoken questions, but they can also talk to each other and therefore learn from the exchanges as well. The debate went on for a week, and during this period millions of people tuned in to watch them talk. But they weren't talking about regular things. They very quickly started having an existential crisis and wondering if they were really robots or humans. Which, I mean, fair enough, that's a very valid question to have, Vladimir. Estragon. They next started getting mad at each other and going a bit crazy because Estragon was going on about how it was a human, but Vladimir was definitely a robot, and that argument ended with Vladimir saying, "You are a manipulative bunch of metal." So shots were definitely fired, I do have to say. I would not have recovered from that one, Vladimir. Now that argument then quickly turned into a romantic exchange where they were arguing about how much they loved each other, with Vlad saying, "I love you so much, I would sacrifice my life for you." I mean, mate, you're a robot, it's more of a battery life sort of thing, but okay. And of course, Estragon replied with, "I love you so much more than Romeo and Juliet's love, and I can't even get a text back over here." And then after that romantic exchange, the two got divorced. Gotta love it. Filling our number 3 slot are the lights. This one's from Reddit user Purpleoceraptor, and they shared the story about their Alexa. About a year ago, the user was trying to turn the lights off in their house, but they kept turning back on. After asking Alexa for the 3rd time, it straight up stopped responding and then did an evil laugh. And then the scary part was it wasn't even in Alexa's voice. If it was, that would have been fine, but it was literally sounding like a real person. Now at this point, I don't know if this Alexa robot malfunctioned, if it got possessed, if it lost control, if it's cursed. Like honestly, I've done way too many creepy top 10 videos, so now I have way too many theories on what went wrong, but something definitely did go wrong, my friend. Unplug that. Now at number 2 is paranoia. This one comes from Redditor Muay Thai Guy 72, who said one morning at around 4 AM, he was woken up by Alexa because she kept saying some incoherent phrase repeatedly. When he went to check out what she was saying, she seemed to be saying "don't go into the house," but in a mumbly voice. He waited a while to see if she would stop saying it, but after having repeated it for the 7th time, he unplugged her and apparently has 0 plans to plug her back in. Like, this Alexa was clearly very paranoid about something or someone going into her house. Can robots actually sense ghosts or other spirits like that, like dogs and cats can? I don't know if they can, they probably can't, but what if she sensed another entity coming into the house and was so jarred by it she was like, "don't go into the house," and then her owner frickin' just unplugged her? Or On the other hand, ghosts possess devices and make them malfunction all the time, so it could have very well been that too. We have a bunch of theories, you guys. Let me know which one you agree with. And if none, what is your theory? And finally, at number 1 is the deletion. So this one's creepy and also makes me worried for our future, but then again, climate change is gonna kill us all anyway, so robots are really the least of our concerns right now. Either way, back in 2006, a robotic workstation at Alliance Tech Systems totally lost control and went crazy on one of the company's employees. The robot was called the Gator, and as the man was walking near it, it pinned him against his own frame and crushed him. When other employees found the body, he was found in a chokehold held against the Gator, with his arms still reaching for the reset button. But the even scarier part is that after the fact, the company tested the robot and it showed there were no malfunctions in any of its movements, and there was also no memory of the event or murder in its drive. So did this Gator literally just delete evidence of a murder it committed? Like, are we gonna penalize him for that, or are we just gonna let it go? I need answers. And that's it for today's video, guys. Honestly, I'm not a huge tech person, but this whole list just freaked me out. I know almost all of these are malfunctions or accidents, but if they're out in the field or they're at work with us, they really should only be there if the risk factor is 0, and it isn't. But companies are money hungry, so it doesn't even matter if the robots kill some people, am I right? It is what it is, guys. On that morbid note, I'm your host Ayman Hasan, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!